Shalom. I'd like to talk to you today about a topic that we don't think about often, um, and it's about winning. We talk about winning on this channel, and yet we haven't really got deep into it. So today I want to talk about some ways to be a true winner. First, one has to learn to dwell in the secret place of the Most High. Psalms 91 starts out by saying, "He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty." When you think about it, what devil would dare come near us if we're dwelling in the secret place of the Most High, abiding under his shadow? So that's one way of winning, because we would truly be in protection. Another thing we can do is to learn to keep our mind stayed on him so that he can keep us in perfect peace. And that all comes about when we learn to trust in him. And that would be Isaiah 26:3, where you can find that one. Thirdly, if we live by Psalms 1, the first few verses, "Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of Elohim, and in his law doth he meditate day and night." The law. Meditate on the law day and night. "And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper." That's called winning. Another thing we could do is learn what the psalmist learned when he asked, "Adonai, who shall abide in thy tabernacle? Who shall dwell in your holy hill?" "He that walketh uprightly, and worketh righteousness, and speaketh the truth in his heart. He that backbiteth not with his tongue, nor doeth evil to his neighbor, nor taketh up a reproach against his neighbor, in whose eyes a vile person is contemned, but he honoreth them that fear Yahuah Adonai Elohim. He that sweareth to his own hurt and changeth not. He that putteth not out his money to usury, nor taketh reward against the innocent. He that doeth these things shall never be moved." We win. Another thing. Oh, that was in Psalms 15. Then to remember this. Ooh, very serious. I haven't accomplished all of these things yet. So, Proverbs 6, starting with verse 16. "These things doth Yahuah, the sovereign one, hates. Yea, 7 are an abomination unto him: a proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, and heart that deviseth wicked imaginations, feet that be swift and run into mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies, he that soweth discord among the brethren. My son, keep your father's commandments, and forsake not the law of thy mother. Bind them continually upon thy heart, and tie them about your neck. When you goest, it shall lead thee. When thou sleepest, it shall keep thee. And when thou wakest, it shall talk with thee. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and the reproofs of instruction are the way of life." Which boils down to us becoming commandment keepers and Torah observers. If we do not learn to do these things I just mentioned, we can expect to be spewed out of his mouth. Yahushua said in Revelations, "So then, because thou art lukewarm, and neither cold nor hot, I will spew you out of my mouth." Revelations 3:16. What is lukewarmness? Well, just look at the people today who say that they love him, but they don't keep his commandments. And yet, in the very same breath, he said, "If you love me, you will keep my commandments." But the majority of people are saying that the law is done away with. The commandments are kept according to the way they want to keep it. Like I remember years ago hearing someone say, Yahushua called it the golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So in other words, treat others the way you want to be treated. Well, there was this saying years ago, I haven't heard it recently, but people are living it. Instead of saying, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, they said, do unto others before they do it to you. So in other words, you be mean and nasty and hateful to others because people are going to do it to you, so you beat them to the punch. That's not even funny, but people would laugh. Ha ha ha. Yet the joke is on those who think it's funny. So I want to share some of the many, many scriptures that strongly suggest, they don't force, Yah does not force it on us, but he suggests that we keep the commandments, his commandments, commandments of the great creator and author and finisher of all things. For there's nothing made that was not made by him. And not only were they made by him, but they were made for his pleasure. The commandment keepers are the ones who will see eternity. They'll see eternal life. Everyone's going to see eternity. You're either going to be dead, which is eternally separated from him, or you're going to be living with him. But everyone's going to see eternity. It will take more than having our names on a church roll. If it's not in the Lamb's Book of Life, what does it matter if you're on a church roll? It will take more than being a church goer. But what does that matter if you're not going where he's leading us to go, which is that straight and narrow way? If it's about our will, then we're off course, because it's not supposed to be about our will. It's supposed to be about his will. As Yahushua said in the garden, not my will, but thine will be done. The world says, do it your way. If it feels good, do it. You have your rights. Okay, we'll see where that gets us. Yahuah is in covenant with us. He will protect and provide for us, and we will love him, revere him, keep his commandments. So these are the things we do. He promises to protect, to love us, to protect us, and to provide for us. And we, on the other hand, say that we will keep his commandments, revere him, have no other gods before him. So see, it's like in a wedding. Man's wedding, the woman has her vows, the man has his vows. Well, we're in covenant, and we have something to do too. But no, we'd rather have nothing to do and receive all the blessings. For some reason, this relationship has become one-sided in this, current time frame. Actually, it's been gradually getting to this point, and now we are there's lawlessness, there's lovers of themselves, and far from loving Yahuah. Many people want him to provide and protect, yet they do not feel it takes all that commandment keeping to get the benefits he promises. In Isaiah 4, verse 1, it reads, and in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread, wear our own apparel, only let us be called by your name to take away our reproach. And that's what it seems like it is today. People want his name, which, they don't even know his name, but they say his name. But they don't, just to take away our reproach. So we can say that we're Christians, or we're this, or we're that, whatever people are calling themselves. But that's not enough. But so in that day, what day? Maybe they're talking about today. In that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. In the book of Revelation, there were 7 churches. 7 women. Could it be? Something to think about. I haven't said that in a long time. Something to think about, something to dig deeper into, right? So let me begin with the scriptures. Nehemiah 1 and 5. It says, I beseech thee, O Yahuah Elohim of heaven, the great and fearsome Elohim, who keepeth covenant and mercy for those who love him and observe his commandments. We have dealt very corruptly against thee, and have not kept the commandments, nor the statutes, nor the judgments which thou commandest thy servant Moses. 1 John 3:22. And whatsoever we ask, we receive of him, because we keep his commandments and do those things that are pleasing in his sight. Oh, that's how we get whatever we ask for. Deuteronomy 10 and 13. to keep the commandments of Elohim and his statutes, which I command thee this day to do thy good. So when we keep his commandments, they're for our good, for us to have good. Deuteronomy 8 and 6. Therefore thou shalt keep the commandments of Adonai thy Elohim, to walk in his ways and to fear him. Revere him, reverence him, give him the honor and the esteem that's due him. Deuteronomy 11:27. A blessing if you obey the commandments of Adonai thy Elohim, which I command you this day, and a curse if you will not obey the commandments of Yahuah Elohim, but turn aside out of the way, which I command you this day, to go after other gods, which you have not known. Joshua 22. But take diligent heed to do the commandment and the law which Moses, the servant of Adonai, charged you, to love Adonai thy Elohim, and to walk in all his ways, and to keep his commandments, and to cleave to him, and to serve him with all your heart, and with all your soul. Cleave to him. 1 Kings 2, verse 3. And keep the charge of Adonai thy Elohim, to walk in his ways, to keep his statutes and his commandments, and his judgments and his testimonies, as it is written in the law of Moses, that thou mightest prosper in all that you do, and wheresoever you turn yourself. Sounds like they're winning. Deuteronomy 13:18. When thou shalt hearken to the voice of Adonai thy Elohim, to keep all his commandments, which I command thee this day, to do that which is right in the eyes of Yahuah Elohim. So to keep his commandments is the same as hearkening unto his voice. And remember in John 10, Yahushua said, my sheep know my voice, and another they'll not follow. Psalms 103. But the mercy of Adonai is from everlasting to everlasting upon them that fear him. That's verse 17. And his righteousness unto children's children, verse 18. To such as keep his covenant, and to those that remember his commandments to do them. They will have his mercy. 1 John 2, verse 3. And hereby we do know that we know him if we keep his commandments. He that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments, is a liar, and the truth is not in him. But whosoever keepeth his word, in him verily is the love of Yahuwah perfected. Hereby know we that we are in him. He that said he abideth in him ought himself also so to walk, even as he walked. Go back to the message on abiding. He that said he abideth in him. You know, it said being submissive. Yeah, that was one of the definitions. John 10:4. And when he putteth forth his own sheep, he goeth before them, and the sheep follow him, for they know his voice. And a stranger will they not follow, but will flee from him, for they know not the voice of strangers. So when someone's telling us something that's opposite from the commandments and the laws, the right rulings of the Great One, we ought to be running. I am the good shepherd, and I know my sheep, and am known of mine. And other sheep I have which are not of this fold. Them also I must bring, and they shall hear my voice, and they shall be one fold and one shepherd. Matthew 7:17. Even so every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. You know, John 15, he talks about the same thing. Wherefore by their fruits ye shall know them. Not everyone that saith unto me, Adonai, Adonai, shall enter into the kingdom of Shamayim, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in the Shamayim, heaven. Many will say to me in that day, Adonai, Adonai, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have cast out devils? And in thy name done many wonderful works? And then I will confess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man which built his house upon a rock. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon the house, and it fell down, for it was founded upon a rock. And everyone that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not shall be like a foolish man, which built his house upon the sand. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell. And great was the fall of it. And it came to pass, when Yahushua had ended these sayings, the people were astonished at his doctrine, for he taught them as one having authority, and not as the scribes. John 14:15, if you love me, keep my commandments. 1 John 5, verse 3. For this is the love of Elohim, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. Keeping his commandments when you love him are not grievous. It's not as hard keeping them when you love him and you know why we have to keep the commandments. I mean, it's no different. Why do we not have a problem keeping the laws of man that change when they get ready to meet and decide they're going to change things on us? Whereas Yah's word never changes. It has never changed, never ever changed. And we have a hard time. And he said it's for our good. The law and commandment protect us and put us in right standing with the Almighty Most High. Revelations 12:17. And the dragon was wrought with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of Elohim and have the testimony of Yeshua HaMashiach. Revelations 14:12. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of Yah and the faith of Yahushua. In ending, blessed are the undefiled in the way. This is Psalms 119. Psalms 119 is all about the word and how we're blessed by keeping the word, learning the word, living by the word. So it reads, blessed are the undefiled in the way who walk in the law of Adonai. Blessed are they that keep his testimonies and that seek him with the whole heart. They also do no iniquity. They walk in his ways. Thou hast commanded us to keep thy precepts diligently. Oh, that my ways were directed to keep thy statutes. Then shall I not be ashamed when I have respect unto all your commandments. I will praise thee with uprightness of heart when I shall have learned thy righteous judgments. I will keep thy statutes. Oh, forsake me not utterly. Wherewith shall a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed thereto according to thy word. That's how we cleanse our way. With my whole heart have I sought thee. O let me not wander from thy commandments. Thy word have I hid in mine heart, that I might not sin against thee. Blessed art thou, O Adonai. Teach me thy statutes. It's a long Psalms. In fact, I read it every day, but I don't read it out because I think it's almost 100. Well, it might be over 170 verses. So I divided it up into 7 days, and I read something of it every day. Leviticus 22, verse 31. Therefore shall ye keep my commandments and do them. I am Adonai. Deuteronomy 8:6. All the commandments which I command thee this day shall ye observe to do, that ye may live and multiply and go in and possess the land which Adonai sware unto your fathers. James 1:22. But be ye doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. Isn't that something? Matthew 5:17. Think not that I've come to destroy the law or the prophets. I'm not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say to you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled. So where is this lie about there's no law anymore? Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of the Shemayim, the heaven. For I say unto you that except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees, you shall in no case enter into the kingdom of heaven. Which, by the way, won't take much for our righteousness to surpass theirs, because they were teaching, making up laws and teaching them that to be the doctrines of Yah when they were men's doctrines. They were very self-righteous. So our righteousness has got to be increased, exceed their righteousness. Deuteronomy 6:24, and Elohim commanded us to do all these statutes, to fear Adonai, our Elohim, for our good always, that he might preserve us alive as it is today. Lastly, Ecclesiastes 12. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Elohim and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For Yah shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. So, people, let's learn to be commandment keepers. That's the only way we're going to win, is be commandment keepers and Torah observers. He did not do away with the law. He did not do away with the commandments. We are to keep them. They are life. They're our life. And they're divided up in categories for every area. Like there's some for women, some for children, some for the priest, some for health laws. It's just different things. So when people say, "Oh, it's over 600 laws," yeah, but they don't all pertain to you, And it doesn't even matter if they all did pertain to you. It's still about for our good. They're not grievous, and we're gonna have to give an account if we don't keep them. And it's gonna cost us. Look, he already said what he's gonna say to some people. I never knew you. And if you know him, you'll keep his commandments. That's what he said. So let's strive to do that so we can win. So we can win. Believe me, eternity is a long time to be wrong. If you want to go the way that you want to go, it's a long ways to be wrong because our way is wrong. Except we're following the Most High. In Isaiah 48:17, he said that he would show us the way to go. And the only way we won't have goodness and mercy and good things happen to us is not to follow his commandments. Read Deuteronomy 28 also, because I meant to include that. When we're commandment keepers, we will lend and not borrow. Everything we have is blessed. We're the head, not the tail. We're above only, not beneath. It's just all, the enemy will come in one way, but he'll flee 7 ways. It's a list of blessings when we keep the commandments of the Most High. So we want to win, not just in this earth, this world right here, but Yah will make sure we do win when we are commandment keepers and we're observing his Torah and honoring it and having no other L's before him. But in the days to come, eternity, we want to reign in that millennium reign with him, and then we want to be either part of the bride or at least invited to the supper of the Lamb. But we got to be commandment keepers, and don't look at them as grievous. But they won't be grievous to you when you love him. We don't want to be like those 7 women said, we want to marry this man. We just want your name. We want to do what we want to do. We just want your name. We ain't fooling him. Not in the least bit. He knows every man's heart. We got to be commandment keepers, and we cannot be straddling the fence. Some of the things that people are doing today when they're saying they love him, it's an abomination. It's an abomination. Keeping all these pagan holidays, and and you can Google it. Has no religious affiliation. Just the truth will tell you where all these holidays started from. And we should be ashamed. We should be ashamed. We're being like the children of Israel, and he used to tell them all the time, do not follow the practices of those people. Come out from among them and be separate. For he is looking for a separate people who want to be of that royal priesthood, that holy Kodesh, set apart nation, peculiar people. We got to be commandment keepers. And it's time for us to come out from among her. That is the whore, the great whore, who is going to see her day of reckoning. We got to come out from among her. We've got to be different. We're not here to stay. We're sojourners. We're just passing through this place, looking for a home. Don't set up camp here, because this place is going to end in fervent heat. All right. With love, I bring this message. Those who love and revere the Most High are blessed. Love you. Remember that we win, but we cannot win if we're straddling the fence and we do not want to keep the commandments and the laws and be a Torah keeper. What a wonderful place to be a Torah keeper, to have his heart, to be the apple of his eye when he sees us and knows us as commandment keepers. I'm closing. I love you. Talk to you soon. We're commandment keepers because we win. Hallelujah.